From social media to gaming, young people are at risk of becoming victims of cybercrime, but there are ways to help keep them safe. Joining us to discuss this more is Dr.Aliabadi from BCIT's Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Department. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I've had a lot of conversations with my own teenagers about this, and it started years ago. Why is it important to have those conversations early when your kids are younger?
Yeah, of course, that is a great question. So, yeah, these days, over 70% of kids are globally have experienced some sorts of cyber threats. So education is the key for their self-protection. Let me share my story and tell you how these kind of cyber threats is resonating with my personal life. I would say one game actually changed our life. When my son was only 9 years old, he was playing a multiplayer online game. Within the game, an online stranger who was older than him just reached him out and started talking about the game and asking personal information. That moment was really scary for me. I could see how fast this conversation could turn into manipulation, impersonation, or grooming, and even data theft. So my purpose, actually, my fear turned into my purpose, and Kids Shield actually was born after that.
I'm curious to know, did your son tell you about this right away? Did he identify that something sketchy was going on?
Actually, it was me that I was listening to their conversation. I was lucky that that day his headphone was out of order, and I was able to hear that conversation. And within the game, naturally, while he was talking about different events in the game and strategy of the game, he was also gradually asking some personal information. And when I say it is getting deep into something that is really sensitive and shouldn't be shared, I just ran to his room and asked, please leave the game.
Right. Well, it's a good thing you were listening. I guess that goes to show that parents really need to be aware of, what their kids are up to online, and in particular in gaming. But deepfakes are also a bit of a concern. They're being used to trick kids now. Tell us about that.
Of course. AI is making manipulation and impersonation easier than ever. So we are facing different types of AI-generated convincing threats like fake profile, fake information, fake videos, different type of phishing scams that are really hard to detect, even for the adults. So it is really important to equip kids with those technical skills that help them to not be tricked. If they are getting into learning about this technology and how it works, definitely they will be able to defeat the hackers. So unfortunately, the rate of cyber threats that are based on deepfake and other AI-generated type of attacks are on the rise.
Okay.
AI is both protective and deceiving.
Okay, so we have under a minute here, and this is really important that we get this out. There's some good online strategies and habits that we can teach kids to keep them safe. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, definitely. The most important thing that I would say is that try to invest in cybersecurity education and provide the early adoption of cybersecurity education, early awareness, as soon as they are getting into using the electronic devices. So in terms of Kids Shield Services basically is taking the lead during the last 5 years to basically provide these kind of techniques for the kids, and through educational game, through multiple online courses, and all of these things provide the key point of how to defeat the hackers. For example, it is really important to not share any personal information. Be very cautious about clicking on the link. Do not trust to whatever they are hearing and seeing online. So it is really important to invest in the cybersecurity education and let your kid to connect with confidence.
Yeah, anyone that has a device really should have that kind of education. Dr.Aliabadi, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great advice. Thanks for coming.